No. Yeah.
What I'm doing today is the craft of creative writing, just an introduction to that. Because by itself, the topic is so vast that you can actually spend hours and hours, days and days talking about it. We are going to talk the very basics today. This session today will be followed up by 2 other sessions. Of course, those will be paid sessions where I will take up in details what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to give you a broad picture of how to develop the creativity in our children. Very often, we say that why can't they write creatively? We give them a topic, and then some children we mark, we say, okay, what a wonderful, creative piece the child has delivered. And the others say, he doesn't know anything. He's just put the basic sentences. But the question is, did we teach them how to be creative? Think about it. You can also tell me, but creativity is inborn. It's a talent. And how do you instill a talent in a person who doesn't have anything? Right. I would agree to that to a certain extent, but not fully. You cannot give a talent to somebody, but you can definitely push that person towards that path of writing better, where automatically some creativity will come in. And how that will happen, that is what I'm going to look at today. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Please let me know the moment you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There are some people who are waiting to enter. I think I've said admit all, and why I cannot see them. Let me see. All right. All right. As I said, it's introducing the craft of writing and creativity. And the right place to begin, as the beautiful song says in Sounds of Music, is the right place to begin is right at the beginning. And if we don't begin at the beginning, we cannot expect them to write creatively in senior classes. It has to begin from the time when the children come to us. Therefore, let's talk about it, how we plan to do this. Tell me, what do you understand by creativity? And please respond. Please respond. What do you understand by creativity?
Good evening, ma'am. It's Aradhana Sharma from Bhopal.
Yes, Aradhana.
Yeah, creativity is in place of literature. It is the imagination put into proper vocab to express our feeling.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else would like to add to that?
Creative writing is something, writing the thing in a very beautiful manner that it attracts the reader.
Please, somebody's audio is on. May I request everyone to please mute yourself? Please, can you mute yourself?
Creative writing is a writing in which we write or we convey our message in a creative manner. The words play very important role in creative writing. The word we choose, to express our feelings, to express the thought which is going in our mind, and to pen it down on a paper.
Okay, okay. So which of these fall into the category of creative writing? Reports, essays, reviews, poetry, biography, autobiography, stories, which of them?
Stories.
Okay,
Stories and poetry.
all right.
Essays.
In fact, all, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, all. You can have a report of the same event in 5 different newspapers, but you prefer a certain newspaper because of the way that newspaper has presented the report to you. So creativity is involved in whenever you start writing. It just doesn't have to be stories only. That is narrative writing. That's creating a story. Of course, that requires immense talent. And what is that talent going to be all about? So what helps in writing creatively? You said, so you gave me some answers on that. Can you just repeat it, please? What helps in writing creatively?
It is the vocabulary.
Vocabulary.
Okay, vocabulary. What else?
Putting your thoughts, ma'am.
In a sequence. Putting the thoughts in a sequence.
Okay. Okay.
Expression of feelings.
Expression of feelings. Do we need ideas?
Yes. Imagination, idea, creativity.
And
Thoughts.
craft of writing. So where do we begin? What do we start teaching right in the beginning? We begin with the craft of writing. And this is a very, very comprehensive term. The craft of writing is a very comprehensive term. If done properly, it will take care of creativity. It will help this. So when you're developing the craft of writing, you have to incorporate ideas and imagination also in whatever you are teaching, in the craft that you're teaching. When I say craft, I'm actually talking of, what should I say, skills of writing. Basically, the sub-skills of writing. And what are the sub-skills of writing that we start teaching at the primary level? We'll talk about the seniors when we come to seniors. But right now, at the primary level, what are the sub-skills of writing that we want to teach them? I've said a repertoire of words. Euphemism for a large stock of, a big stock of words, good vocabulary. They need to have words. You can do nothing without words. And words, developing vocabulary, is again a very creative teaching, I would say, where teachers need to become creative in teaching the vocabulary. I'll be talking about this because as we begin right from the, junior classes only. In class 3, 4, we can tell them, show, not tell. Just don't use a word. Just create that picture with words. And that is why they need a lot of words with them. They need a large vocabulary. It has to be your synonyms, antonyms, idioms, phrases, etc., all that we'll talk about when we are doing vocabulary in details. And which means they must know how to spell, they must know how to punctuate, okay, when they're writing sentences, and which means they need grammar also, because there has to be accuracy in sentences. So they need to know the grammar, and they need to know how to structure their paragraphs. They need to know how to structure their sentences and do it accurately. So good stock of words, properly spelled, with good punctuation and grammatically put correctly, that is where it all begins. But as I said, you incorporate ideas and imagination here. Here itself, you start doing it. And how? We are coming to that gradually. So they need to be able to comprehend what they read. They need to know the different genres of writing. We said they should know there are plays, there are poetries, there are biographies, autobiographies, travelogues, pamphlets, etc., etc. All there's so many things happening in different kinds of blogs now. We're talking of blogs nowadays. So they have to know about all these, how they need to write about this. One thing that they need here is, it should not be that you have to do it in, this only. They should be given the freedom to think and to imagine and to write. Right in the beginning, when they start writing, we don't look at the tenses and etc., etc. If the child has got the idea there, I think that is a good start for creativity. Grammar, we will teach them. Spellings, we will enforce. Punctuation, we will teach them. But let the ideas come. And even if they don't know how to spell a word, but they know the word, they know how to use it, I think that's a tremendous achievement and a good start. So we need to do that. But actually, what do we do in the classroom? What do we focus on? What do we focus on in the classroom while teaching? When we are teaching writing, what do we focus on? Can somebody tell me that?
Presentation.
Huh? Presentation. Very good. Very good. What else?
Spellings, ma'am. Spellings.
Spellings. All right.
It is the use of right vocabulary for any piece of imagination.
We actually teach just the product, the end product. Don't we?
How to write the particular content, for example, report writing or notice writing. We teach them.
So we are focusing on formats. Constantly there is a question on, ma'am, which format is right? And if you look at the weightage for the format, it's minimum. Of course, the format has to be right. I mean, you just cannot do it anyway, which way. But the content, what about the content? What goes in after within that format? What are you going to write? How are you going to write that? So that is what is important. We are teaching formats, we're teaching grammar. When I was teaching, I used to have parents come and say, ma'am, isko grammar sikha do to sab seekh jayega. Acha. So did you learn grammar for your mother tongue before you started speaking and writing? You don't learn language through grammar, but grammar is important to know that you're doing the right thing. So what is it that we don't teach? We forget to teach the process of writing. The entire process where it begins. The format will automatically happen. Grammar will also come. And this teaching of the process automatically involves creativity. So what is the difference between the product and process? Just to recap. What is the difference between the process and the product? Where is the difference in teaching it? Teaching the product and teaching the process.
In process, we teach them how to write the content. Whereas in product, we teach them what exactly is required to be written.
Yeah, so we just say these sentences should go there. It should come first to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the order in which they should come. And that is what the format should be here. This sentence should be here, this here. And we say, okay, the child is ready for the board exam. Okay, the child is ready for the board exam. But what about the child after the board exam? During this period that the child has been with you, starting right from the time when it comes as a tiny tot or a toddler in the school, and from the time until the time it leaves, what have you achieved? Ma'am, please, can you mute yourself? Okay, so let us look at the need to focus on development of the process of writing. How do we develop this process of writing? And why do we need to focus on it? Because our objective is skill development. We need to develop the skill. We need to develop their vocabulary. And then you will tell me, but ma'am, that is, I'm talking of just the basics only. No, of course, but then developing vocabulary can be very, very creative. It can be very creative. I remember there used to be a very nice pictorial dictionary. I had it with me about 40 years back when my eldest son was learning, had started going to school. And this dictionary, it was 2,000 words. Okay. The words were not given, they didn't give them meaning. They used them in a sentence. Okay. And they had actors, they created stories, like the crow was Baron von Crow, things like that, and Mama Pig and baby piglets. So she gave them a bath, and they show, what the bath is all about. And then she hung them to dry. So they are drying, all the water's dripping down. So it's a beautifully done thing. You can teach vocabulary in such a beautiful way. I used to have a set of books called Mr. Men's. Each book developed with one kind of men. And each page had just one sentence on it. Like Mr. Mean. Mr. Mean was very mean. Did not like to give things. On Christmas, he gave. He gave one coal to his brother on Christmas. Next Christmas, he gave him another coal. Now it was winters and you need coal to have the, fire in the fireplace. But Mr. Mean will give him only one coal. He will not give him a bag full of coal. Okay. Then we need to develop their sense of syntax, how to write the sentences, what we call and perception. I have put there, highlighted this at the end, but believe you me, this is the most important thing, perception. Because vocabulary and syntax will be the mechanics or the skills of writing. And this is going to be creative observation. Not just observe, but observe creatively. But observe creatively. Okay, because when you have done this, when you've taken them through the entire process, you made sure they've learned the process well. It becomes internalized. And may I request for the audio to be muted, please? So once they have internalized the process, the quality of the product is automatically ensured. It is automatically ensured. So please make sure that you teach them the product, the process, and not the product. Product will be taken care of automatically. So vocabulary. What happens in developing vocabulary? That is, we teach them the letters, and we let them put the letters together. We teach them names of various things, and we teach them, suffixes, prefixes, tenses, base words, the inflections of the words, and then we want them to use in a sentence. So they're actually, looking for words. They're groping for words. They don't have them. And this is where we need to become a little creative. Like I've always loved this little cartoon. It says, I've been trying to think of a word for 2 weeks. He says, a fortnight. Now look at the pun over here. Fortnight is 2 weeks. So tell the children, so what is the difference? Okay, so this is it. And then, but what do? We say, learn 3 words for tomorrow. 3 words, their meanings. But just learning one meaning of that word is not going to help, because our language, English language, is a very versatile language. There are so many connotations to a word. And each connotation has something different about it. You cannot actually use one in place of the other. Okay? And that is what we need to teach them. Like here, I've got some beautiful ones, where it says panache, it's a dashing elegance of manner or style. And all his panache was there, could be seen in the kind of mustache he had. So here, you're given the sound. So when you're teaching vocabulary, you help them to articulate the word. How to articulate is you find another word which they know, which has a similar sound. Like here it says scrutinize, so eyes, you're scrutinizing with your eyes like that. And here it says minuscule, so it's minuscule. Okay, and here truculent. Okay, very nice. So he's given the situations also. And this is how you go creative. When I'm doing the detailed ones, I'll be doing more on this, how to do it. I mean, these are just cartoons I picked up from the net, but how are we going to develop such activities? That is what I plan to do after this. So first teach the skill, the craft of writing. When you're reading out to them,
सब लेसन्स के लिए मीनिंग्स पढ़ो.
हाँ मैडम, थोड़ा अपना शांत कर दीजिए ऑडियो को. हमको डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है ना, सबको डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है. प्लीज कृपया उसे आप मूक कर दें. So initially we start reading lessons to the children. No, when they're small, they can't read, we read to them. But let us read to them in a way where our voice lends meaning to the words. They listen to that and they start comprehending and they start articulating. That is where the beginning of comprehension will begin. They'll start understanding words, they'll start understanding the meanings of not only the words, but the sentences that you have read or you're using. And that will enable them to write better. We always say, you listen better, you speak better, you write better, you read better, you write better. So they need good vocabulary. They should know how to write those words. Gradually, as they're growing up, they come to class 2, 3, 4, they start writing. Then they need to put it in sentences, simple sentence construction. But even simple sentences can be done beautifully. Understanding the writing of different genres as per the grade level. And all this has to be done creatively. We have to become creative about it. We just can't say, okay, I'm giving you an essay to write. Now here is a cow. So write about a cow or write about a flower. So the child will write, this is a flower. It is called rose. It is red in color. It smells nice. It has a green stem and leaves and it has thorns. Finished. But what is creative about it? This is where you come in. Okay. And how is what we need to look at that. Then we have to teach them using cohesive. They've written the sentences, now they need to put them together. They have to organize what they write. They have to, if it's a narrative thing, they have to know how to begin, how to, develop the whole thing and then conclude it. Whether it is narrative writing, essay writing, but these are the 3 parts of writing that you always have. And of course, the narrative writing, how to introduce characters. I will show you that. I've got some nice pictures. So here I have a picture of, that teach craft of writing. Just put this on a larger picture, as a larger picture for you to see how a word is being introduced. It sounds like mini school. Minuscule sounds like mini school. And here the spelt pronunciation is also given, minuscule, and Rogers minuscule, mini school. Okay, so mini school is minuscule. Okay, so here, so creative, but you can say that creativity as talent is inborn. Okay, and craft of writing can be taught. I would say the skill of writing has to be taught. It has to be taught. Creativity as talent is inborn, but writing has to be taught. Writing has to be taught because talent and skill will take them to creative writing. So what about children who are not gifted with that talent? We shall make sure that to a certain extent, they start writing creatively. They can't create a talent, but they can definitely write better than what they are writing. That is what we can always ensure, that at the end, they write something that is readable, which is appealing, and it's put across very beautifully. So can creativity be taught? Yes, to a certain extent. You can't teach creativity, it is inborn, but to a certain extent, you can lead them onto that path where they will be better than what they were already doing. So let's talk about creativity. It is like breathing. Creativity is like breathing. It's something there. It's already there. So it's either there or it's not there. If you're not breathing, then you're dead. If there's no creativity, then you don't have the talent. So it is like breathing, it is inherent. So where is the teaching part coming in here? We all breathe. And most of our problems are because we don't breathe correctly. Yeah. So we can always teach them how to breathe better. We can learn how to breathe better. We do our pranayams, alone, everything, because we want to breathe better. Somebody's audio is on. Can you please put it off?
Alka ma'am, I think you have the right to mute everybody at your end.
No, but then it becomes a problem if you want to speak. No? That is why I'm not doing it. But I hope everyone is sensible over here. I'm sure they'll understand once they know that I have a problem with their audios being not on mute. So creativity is inherent. Similarly, creativity can be honed. You can learn to breathe better. Those who are creative, when you teach them writing, when you teach them the skills of writing, their creativity actually becomes more productive. It's much better. So, but it can be taught only to a certain extent. Creativity can be taught only to a certain extent. It has to be there, but the writing can be taught. So that is it, what creativity all about. So, but we have to put together creativity and writing because we want all our children to do some kind of creative writing. We want all of them to do that. So we want all of them to learn to write better. We are going to set them on a path. A certain kind of psyche is going to be given to them where they start thinking on those terms, how to write creatively, how to write better. So that is what we are going to do. So as I said, we have to ensure that there is creative observation. There is no creativity without your observation being creative. Even as a kid, going on the road, I would look at a person with somebody who's, looking very despondent, and then say, "Bichare ka pata nahi kya ho raha hai, kyon dukhi ho raha hai?" Maybe he's lost his wallet, or maybe, somebody has said bad words to him, and all kinds of things. So you start imagining, a little realizing that actually I was creating little stories about those people. So every person, and being a very quiet kid in the class, which is now difficult to believe, of course, but being a very quiet kid, I would just observe and create stories about people, They don't have to be the right ones, but then at least my imagination was running wild creating stories. So what do they observe creatively? They observe people, they observe animals, like here I have, I was looking at this old man, and I said, okay, how do I create a picture of this man? A word picture. So I saw him sitting there in the park on a bench. I think he had been there for a while. He'd put his hat on the side, but his hand was on the stick. Did he need the support, or was he ready to just get up and go? And but I was very fascinated. I looked at him and I saw the silver in his fringe of hair circling his shining, big forehead, and his silvery big mustache covered his mouth. His eyebrows were also silvery, but his eyes were big. There was, with the furrows on his forehead and his big eyes, maybe he was, looking at somebody, or was he waiting for somebody? Tell me, and I could be totally wrong. I hope I am, because I want you to point out the right thing. In all this that I've just said to describe this picture,
Machine pe dekh.
did you find anything to suggest he was young or old?
Apne aap.
Old, his silvery hair, which you mentioned.
Huh?
That was a show, don't tell.
Okay. I think everything I tried to do was showing and not telling. Yeah.
Yes.
But but I had to show that he's an old man sitting there. That was the objective. So did I succeed in doing it?
Yes, you did.
Are you sure? Could have added something more.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe I could have spoken about the lines on his face.
Yeah,
And then
the way he needs his
support that
walking
he needs.
stick,
Yeah. And the way he's sitting, a little
the
stoop.
slouch that he has.
Slouch, absolutely.
Golden.
Now you're getting it. I deliberately left out these things. I wanted you to point them out. Okay.
And his wide-eyed look.
Wide-eyed, I said, no, his eyes were big. He was looking at something. Yeah.
True.
Very nice. Yeah. So that is creative observation. So now why is he here? Let me imagine, why is he here? Whom is he looking at? Is he scared that somebody will come and see him? And why is he scared? What could he have done? I have to find answers for all this. The moment I find answers, my whole thing is becoming very creative. Yeah. If I create the answers, I ask the questions and I create the answers. And that is where it all begins. A small pen picture in 5 to 6 sentences of the people they see around. Very simple words. They don't have to use big words. Remember, the most beautiful piece of writing is simple writing, using simple language. They should know more words, but they should know how to use them in a flow. They should not be just thrust into their writing. So lead them to a stage where those big words, those high sounding words, difficult words become a part of their flow. And that is a gradual process. Okay, so they observe people, they observe things and places, and they observe actions. Okay, so anyone would like to describe this lamp over here in a show, not tell? Waiting. Anyone wants to attempt that?
To illuminate the room.
Okay.
Giving out light,
Okay.
shadow,
Okay.
A light which is trying to survive.
Okay, very good.
A flicker that is trying to survive, rather.
Okay.
Yeah, the lamp which is red.
There's a lot of hope.
Kerosene.
Mhm.
A
Having
ray of hope.
light.
Hmm.
A ray of hope.
top of it like similar to a letterbox.
Okay.
I mean, from child's perception.
Yeah, that's what I want. What else?
The warmth of the light.
Warmth, yes.
The lamp carried by one of the 7 dwarfs. Lady with the lamp.
Okay, so where is the lady gone? Now let's create some story on that. You see, when you say flicker, these hurricane lamps were always lit like this. It seemed that the light was flickering. You people haven't seen, but I have seen it as a little kid. Okay. So this is how we in Hindi, they call it lalten. Okay. So yes, you all are getting there. I'm so happy to hear that. But there is more. You need to do more. Okay. You need to do much, much more than this. Anyone would like to describe this flower here? Creative observation.
Ma'am, it's an happy yellow sunflower dancing.
Okay.
Sunflower faces the sun. Always it faces the sun.
Okay.
Radiant yellow.
Okay.
Yellow.
I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion. Can we describe it without using the name of the flower?
Radiant yellow. Radiating yellow.
Okay.
A poppy yellow which faces toward the sun in the morning. A flower, poppy yellow flower faces towards the sun in the morning.
Similar to sun shining in horizon.
We can't see the sun here. Let's see the flower. Okay. The sun is not visible. It's just the flower.
The flower seems to be smiling with yellow petals and green leaves, brown center, circular in shape.
How does it affect you in your heart?
It is a beautiful flower.
Okay.
Positive
What do you
vibration.
feel? You're sitting in a room and then you have this
Beautiful
Positive.
yellow flower
Positivity.
with a round bindi in the center.
Smiling, vibrant,
Round
and happy.
bindi. Brown round bindi in the center.
Okay.
Positivity. Fallen bed encrusted in bright yellow petals.
Okay. Okay.
Happy as a flower, as a sunflower.
Dancing.
That can be the simile that can be used.
Ma'am, in class, when they haven't even learned to read or write, we want them to talk about this flower. And they don't know all those words.
Being descriptive about the appearance.
Ma'am, at this stage, the child can only see and the child can tell that it has 2 leaves.
Oh, but you have to lead. But you have to lead the child to creativity. You have to lead the child to creativity.
That's what I said. We can begin with, the shape of the flower, the color of the petals, bright yellow petals with green leaves.
The size, you can talk about the size also.
Circular appears to be smiling.
The child may talk about its smell also. Fragrance, that is the smell of the flower.
Okay.
Ma'am, banana looks, it looks like as if it is formed out of like bananas gathered together in circular, this thing.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Ma'am, and we can talk about in which season it.
And you can talk about?
The season of the flower. Which season?
That they could do a little in a slightly higher class, maybe class 4 or 5.
Okay.
Ma'am, they can correlate it to oil that is produced out of it because they see this kind of symbol on that oil bottle.
Yes, that is the experience they bring with them. No? That's the observation they bring with them. Very good. So, what does it look like?
We are just talking about the yellow color, not the seeds in between, or the brown color in between.
It's like the sun with rays, sun rays.
So it looks like a
sun.
If the child doesn't know the name, you say, when you look at this flower, what kind of name would you like to give it? What does it look like? As you said, it looks like banana, so there's a banana flower. Okay, that's child's creativity. But somewhere, some child, and I think a lot of them will say, okay, it looks like the sun.
Bright and shining as the sun.
Yeah, absolutely, Sudha. Bright and shiny as the sun. Very good. So that is it. You see, you please, when you go back today, start looking at everything and start thinking creatively about it. Start observing things creatively. There's so much. Even the most mundane thing that you have over here, this pencil, can also make you think creatively. I can use it to, create a beat. Okay, or I can sharpen it and then say, my God, such a beautiful thing. If I use the blade on it, it will feel hurt. No, it will feel the pain, but I have to do it. Don't mind, but you're such a useful pencil and I have to sharpen you. That's lead inside. That is your beauty, my dear pencil. And when I do this, I can use you for writing. My teacher told me to do some creative writing. So if I don't do this, I will get punished. So will you help me, my dear pencil? And the pencil said, yes, of course, I've been made for this only. All my creative writing done there. Anything you look at, you can do some kind of creativity with that. Anything.
Tall and lean and energetic pencil.
Absolutely. And I love the colors, this combination. Mummy has a sari like this. And she looks very nice when she wears it. So that's why.
And mummy is using it as a bun pin also.
Yes, I've seen. But most of the time I can't find your brothers and sisters because mummy's got them in her hair. You're so good. You're so useful. And tomorrow, if my bench partner takes my things, I will use you to hit him on his knuckles. No, don't do that. Don't use me for hitting people. But what to do? You can tell him not to do. Here, we created dialogue, we created a situation, we spoke. Okay, so creative unless you allow this to happen, there will be no creative writing. Lead them to it. And what you do is you have to ask questions. You have to put questions to them, which will, gradually make them think on those lines till it becomes a habit with them to think in a certain way. So creativity uses ideas and imagination to create something new, and the craft of writing to put it on paper. So they all have to come together. They all have to be put together. That's why I said initially, when you're teaching them the craft of writing, do it using imagination and ideas. All along, they have to be done. It's not a separate thing. Today I will teach only ideas. Today I will teach imagination. Today I will teach only spellings. No, everything comes together. Everything comes together, and each one of these things you can make very creative, very, very creative. Okay. Now here, I've got one prompt for you. This is, you can see these pictures, these 5 pictures. Are they visible to you?
Yes,
ma'am. All of you see these 5 pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how do we begin? We begin with a very, very mundane task of writing 5 sentences. See these pictures and name the things and actions. Name what do you see? You see a tree here, there is fruits, there is a boy. Please, can you mute yourself? Okay, so you see this, you name the things and the actions, write a sentence for each picture. connect each sentence. Now connect each sentence. And this helps develop skills of writing. It helps when you put them together, you're also teaching them coherence and cohesion. So now, having done those 5 simple sentences, we want them to say something more about this. Something more needs to be said. What more? So they can talk about the tree and the fruit on it. Where is the tree? Is it in the boy's orchard or somebody else's? Is it night or day? If it is somebody else's, what is the boy doing there? Has he come to steal? Naughty boy. Okay. And what does he do? So what does he do? And he picks up a stick, and because he cannot reach it, so he looks around, and he thinks, what should I do? I want to eat that fruit. It is so nice, so red and, juicy apple I can see, and I want to eat, or it could be orange, whatever grows on trees, not grapes. So I want to eat. So is he hungry, or is he just being tempted by the look of the fruit? So the story moves further. If I can eat that fruit, I will feel so happy. Oh, that orange, I'm feeling so thirsty. If I can have that, my throat, which is dry, will become better. I won't feel so thirsty. I'll be able to go home. Create any kind of situation. And what happens when he hits the fruit with a stick? Haha, you can see what has happened. Oh, so you came to steal and nobody. So what happened? You only got hit with the fruit. Okay. And you've fallen down. And what do you think happens after this? So now some extrapolation of these pictures. What do you think happens after this? The owner comes and finds the boy there. So what does the boy do? Okay. What kind of answers does he give? So that's it. That is how you do your, begin your creativity. So I would like you to ask me questions if you have, because today's session I just made for 1 hour and it's exactly 1 hour now. So any questions you have on that? So if you want, you can join these 2 sessions. I was telling some of you that I plan to do it on the 5th and 12th of March. That is the plan so far. Let's see if I can get those dates. So if you want to do in details, develop creative vocabulary, sentences, and all this to be done creatively, how to do it. We can have activities. You can take back some activities with you. Okay. And be with a training to create your own. And second part will be on creative observation, ideas and imagination, how to create and how to create stories also, a couple of them, because of course that is a very different session, but I will have some in this also, how to create stories. So
is it available for secondary and senior secondary level too?
I plan to continue with this and go to the senior level. Okay. So
Okay,
let me first do these 2, because, once this is done, I always feel that if the foundation is done well, if you start them properly in the primary and this middle school, automatically. But however, if you are interested, I can do it before that as well. So let me know, those of you who want the senior ones done earlier, I can do that. And for grown-ups, creative writing for grown-ups, if you're interested, please let me know, because then that's a very, very different level altogether. I'll take up that. So you can, connect with me one-to-one. This is my phone number here. And you can connect with me and let me know. This is my WhatsApp number as well. So you can let me know.
Ma'am, what is the date of this creative writing session?
These two parts, 5th March and 12th March. Tentatively, these are the dates.
Okay, and ma'am, what would be the timings?
Five in the evening.
Okay, evening. Okay,
not
fine.
in the morning. Not in the morning.
Ma'am, can you keep little late? I mean,
okay, how late?
8.
No.
8 will be little too late, you know.
Too late.
Okay. 7.
6.
6.
If not 5, then 6.
Huh?
If not 5, then around 6.
Let me see if that slot is available to me. Then I can do 6. But how many people want it at 6 o'clock? That is what I'll have to see.
Yes, ma'am, I can manage at 6.
But you are one. No, I want to know how many people can manage.
No, I am also ready. 5 or 6. It's okay with me.
No, so let me know. You can put it on the WhatsApp thing. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And let me know. Okay. And accordingly, because abhi tak I slotted it for 5.
I am okay with 5 even. And I don't know about the others.
So let me see. If you let me know the time, then accordingly I will.
This Paytm number is your mobile number.
Yeah. It's my mobile
Paytm
number.
Okay. Sorry.
So I'll be putting the link for the feedback form on the group chat. Okay. You please fill in your feedback and send it to me.
One more thing, ma'am, I want to ask. Like this is all about creative writing, or you will be including message writing and notice writing?
As I said, I'm not looking at any of these things. I'm looking at the process. We are talking of the formats now. I'm looking at the process of writing, ma'am.
Not for the formats.
Formats will automatically, I mean, that is what we don't understand.
She's worried about the board exams.
No, ma'am.
I know, and I don't, you, as a practicing teacher, even I was, you know.
I am sorry, ma'am, because first thing I joined late. I did not get the message. I did not check my WhatsApp, so I checked it late. Second thing, I am facing this problem. I take classes personally. I'm not in the school. I'm not working in a school. What I am facing in every school, whether it is notice writing, or it is message writing, or it is diary entry, every teacher is teaching, telling them different formats.
Exactly, I agree with
somebody
this.
Says write time on the left side. Some teacher says write on the right side. Okay, so children are getting confused. I think we should teach them right from the beginning, whatever the format is, applicable, or it is, in 10th or 12th they have to write.
All right. So, and we will do a session on writing skills, not creative writing.
Of course, I know the difference between creative and
so I will do
but
that. I will do it.
Hmm.
For that, I will do a separate session.
Right. Actually, I asked this question only from Matthew sir, and he sent your link. So I thought it is all about this. I just joined. Session is almost.
Because you see what has I have faced this problem a lot. I still remember I'd gone to Kerala for a session into Kottayam, and there it was for the principals, and we were talking about creativity and how to develop creative. Of course, I had very short time over there to do it. So they said, "Ma'am, you're the first person who's told us how to teach creativity." Everyone
Yes, ma'am.
Creatively, liko, but then nobody tells us how to do it.
No. I also work with children, and touch wood. So, my children are writing. One of the child is started writing a book. But
I understand your problem with the formats, and it's a very genuine problem. It's a very genuine problem. I understand that. So I cannot club it with this.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. That will be a separate session.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, ma'am.
We can have a 1-hour session for that, just for the formats.
But
or you connect with me one-to-one. We can talk about it. Right.
Okay, ma'am. Definitely, ma'am. I will be connecting with you. Thank you, ma'am.
अगर इसको तुझे लग रहा है ना इसमें एक पतावा डलवा देंगे.
Anything else, girls and boys? We have some boys also today.
Ma'am, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
That as teachers, I can call it like a chakra view. Format is a chakra view for creativity.
Chakravyuh, yeah, it is the one that you just ko bhed nahi sakte hain aap.
Yeah, actually, the moment
And that is
we
why,
put,
no, Nina, my contention is that if you look at the marks weightage for format, it's very little. Hai na? Maximum is for the content. Now, the content we are not concentrating on. And when we are teaching formats, we are just teaching the product.
Ma'am,
My contention is you teach the process. Then format is not difficult to teach. Na? You give them the template. This is the format.
Yeah.
That is not difficult. The difficulty is in creating the content. Okay. That is where the difficulty is. The process is very important. And creative writing, now that you know what the NEP has given you, I think the children need to become very creative about what they write. You know, if there were subjective things, they have to be done creatively. So that is why the focus on this. And if you don't start it at the junior level, you put them in that, rut of format, 5 sentences. These 5 sentences you write, you will get your marks. Are we looking only at grades or are we looking at skill development?
Yeah.
If the skill is there, everything will fall in place.
Yeah. The moment structure comes in, format comes in, and marks come in.
If they know how to generate ideas, if they know how to get that spark of imagination going, that is what we need to do in the classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, ignite that spark of imagination. Ideas will, if you know why they don't get ideas, because we have shut them out of those ideas. We've told them you cannot think. We've created a dystopia in our education system, actually, if you see, you have to answer this. I still remember there was a lesson, God sees the truth but waits, and justify the title. The children said, ma'am, we cannot justify the title. It is not justified. Because here, justice delayed is justice denied. So how do you say God sees the truth but waits? Waits for what? To do injustice? The man did not get justice at all. So, but I had to tell them, it's good you're talking to me here and you in my answer you write, but in the boards, please don't write this answer. You won't get the marks.
Yeah, true.
That is what has to go out. That thinking, you have to open out their thinking, start thinking. So that is it. Anything else you would like to tell me?
Thank you for the session, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So girls and boys, I'll be putting the feedback form there. And